would say the biggest challenge has been adjusting to the core and focusing on academics.
So I wrestled for about 14 years before coming to West Point. Probably the biggest change I've seen is just kind of like just all the time you kind of gain from it.
Biggest difference has been the amount of free time I have, the amount of sleep I have been getting, and the amount of time to spend with my peers and company.
By far the biggest change I've seen here is just the bigger amount of sleep I get now. Just so many more hours of it. Kind of free time I get to spend like academics and just kind of being able to hang around my company, get to know my peers better.
I don't think Division I programs should be cut from the school because it allows people like myself and my friends to get admitted into the school when we aren't really given that opportunity without our sport.
I do not believe D1 athletics should be cut from West Point. It gives a lot of opportunities to low-income families like I came from to actually have like an opportunity to go out and like experience like college and like higher educations, and allows basically gives people the opportunity to come to West Point and be leaders of character.
So I think the biggest difference between core squad and non-core squad athletes is the schedule. The schedule doesn't really allow for too much interaction between the two groups, so it kind of creates some friction points on understanding and communication, and I think in total it creates a divide. Yes, I think different teams get treated differently between core squad athletic teams and the core. I think certain teams, from certain instances that happened in the past, still feel the effects and the reputation in the present, even though they're not really associated with what happened 8 to 10 years ago. I think certain teams make it more of an effort to bridge the gap between core squad teams and non-core squad companies. So I think that plays a big role, but I think the reputation from years past definitely has the biggest effect. So probably not. Well, the first part of that is I wouldn't have even thought about this place if I didn't get recruited here for my sport, and I wouldn't even like had an open mind to it. It wasn't being with the team on recruiting trips. And then the second part is it's been such a part of me in my process of developing into what I want to be as a leader and other aspects of how I want to develop, that I don't think I would be the same person, the person I want to be without it. So.
All right, Cole, thanks for taking the opportunity to participate in our PL 371 study. There's just a few questions that we have for you regarding your participation as a core squatter here at West Point.
For sure.
First question is, what do you think the biggest difference between being a core squatter and a slug is here at West Point?
Well, I'd say the biggest difference is just, the commitment and the daily schedule, what they're committed to, stuff like that. So athletes tend to have a lot more in terms of place of duty, actually having to go to practice, lifts, meetings, whatever it may be. And then, the slug life have a lot of friends who are slugs and they're proud of it, so they represent pretty well, but they do have a lot more free time, but sometimes they can be very occupied with clubs and whatever other positions they might hold. So there is some heavy commitment for the slug life too, but it just still tends to be a little bit less than core squad.
Do you feel that different teams get treated differently, considering like those time commitments that are involved in being a core squatter?
I think that could be a pretty broad question, but yes. Short answer, yes. I elaborate by saying, do you need a specific team?
You can just speak generally, I think.
In general, yes. There's some teams with bad stigmas. There's some teams that kind of go unnoticed. And then there's teams that are kind of like good stigmas, right? Where they're looked at as the example team, represent the academy very well with how they carry themselves. But there's a lot of good and bad, I guess, when you look at teams and how they're viewed. It depends on the morale, the core, and like the success of the team too. So it's a lot that goes into that question. But short answer, yeah.
All right. Considering how much of a role being a core squatter plays in your day-to-day life, if you were given the option to come here without the option to play a sport, how would that change your perspective on West Point?
So I came here initially with zero expectation of being an athlete or on any team. So for me, it wouldn't really change anything. I knew the whole every cadet's an athlete, company athletics stuff was a thing, but at the same time, company athletics really isn't a D1 sport. So to me, that's just part of the cadet life in general. So I had zero expectations of that. So it wouldn't really change anything for me personally.
Last question then, seeing as you weren't recruited, do you think that being a core squad athlete has developed you more in a positive way or a negative way towards your end goal of being an Army officer?
So for me, 100% in a positive way. Joining my team was the best decision I've made at West Point by far. There's a lot of officer representatives that have been a part of the team that I've looked up to as mentors that have really helped shape me into like the leader and the man I am today, for the better. Definitely, because I've definitely learned a lot of great life lessons, as well as how to be a better officer for the men on my team, and also just cadets in the Corps, and it's helped me with my role in the Corps with cadets as well. So to carry that with me into my officer career.
All right, that's all. Thank you for your time.
For sure.